Fans, we're back live with another edition of the flagship news program of the week. All the news that we find interesting, and it's another look at the guns on Morris. That's awesome. All the news that we find interesting here on the Two Pete Productions Empire. My name is Jack Kilby, the No Gimmicks guy on socials, and I'm joined, of course, as always, by the godfather of Two Pete himself, Morris Shortle, the OG, and of course, the man for whom Ryders Rasslin Review is named, the man with all the insights. He is known as the Big Bad Wolf, Mr. Ryder. Gentlemen, how are you this afternoon? Or wherever you are.
Fantastic. I'm yeet, whatever that means.
Yeet. Yes, that's
I'm yeet.
that is a term that escapes me.
Yeet.
Yeet. Maybe neat. Morris, how is the weather over there in the Emerald Isle? Is it as hot as we're experiencing over here in North America?
It's about 25 degrees Celsius. I don't know. I think you guys use different degrees over there. It's warm for here. We're going to the beach on Sunday with the kids.
Nice. It's about 31 here Celsius as well. We don't use Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit is the good old US of A. And what is it down there, Mr. Ryder?
It was 102 today.
Holy Toledo.
So what is that in Celsius?
I don't know.
Warm.
Probably close to 40, over 40. So
Nice.
just based upon my inadequate knowledge of the situation. Turning to before we get into all the stories that there are, and there are many, did you happen to catch the post today by Dave Meltzer that said that it looks like the Raw on Netflix for this past edition, watch, it was June 30th, was the lowest ever in terms of views?
They seem to be saying that every week. It's getting lower and lower, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's getting to the point, and I haven't verified this. Triple H started an OnlyFans, so that's telling you something.
Times are tough. Well, everybody else has an OnlyFans, of course. Being another week, we have another OnlyFans story, but I think that kind of dovetails nicely with all the talk about the upcoming Evolution 2 pay-per-view and some of the nonsense around that. But we'll start off by talking about MJF. We've talked about this, that WWE seems to be counter-programming some AEW events, including this weekend when All In Texas will be the 12th of July, I see. And NXT are running a Great American Bash, followed by Saturday night's main event. I guess before I delve into his comments, do you guys think that that's just happenstance, or do you think they're really trying to undermine AEW?
I think it's not competition, but I think they're definitely doing it on purpose, trying to have a bit of fun.
Well, who's to say AEW didn't do this on purpose? I mean, they know McDonald's knows what Burger King sells cheeseburgers for, and AEW knows when WWE is running shows. So yeah, they're both doing it.
Tony Khan did say that they're back in Wembley next year. He said he couldn't get a date this year because of the various concerts and stuff going on in Wembley, such as Oasis this year.
Mm-hmm. Well, MJF spoke on the situation. He gave a very pragmatic view of it. He said when he was asked how he feels about it, he thinks it's a sound business practice. And here's the quote that seems to be getting a lot of airtime. He says, "I give jolly old Saint Nick and Trips a whole lot of credit. At the end of the day, if you stomp out your competition, you're doing what is necessary. Don't judge them for it, but also don't be stupid. This isn't happenstance. This isn't circumstantial. None of it is." And he also makes a statement that it's kind of ironic that they're running events at the exact same time and yet don't consider them competition. So I would harken back to the way that WWF counter-programmed Jim Crockett Promotions with both their free and pay-per-view TV. The most notable one that comes up was WWF ran the first ever King of the Ring to counter, I think it was a Clash of the Champions or a big pay-per-view. So this isn't a new marketing strategy, but certainly it would make you think that they're taking them more seriously as competition than they would let on.
Well, it's competition, but it's not great competition. I don't think AEW is stealing any viewers from WWE under any circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
There might be people that cross watch them, but I don't think they're two different products.
Mm-hmm.
See a lot of on a separate note, people criticizing Bill Goldberg. Fans, like, who are these people trying to criticize a guy that's had a career like that? Bonkers. Blows my mind.
Was that after he hit the ring general Gunther there, and they said he was gassed from throwing a punch?
It's just that every time he shows up. But this used to be, Vince McMahon booked him, but Vince is gone now, and Triple H is booking him, but Triple H is getting another free pass on this one. It's all blamed on Goldberg, not the guy who booked him.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of that build so far, Mr. Ryder?
Why are people mad at Bill Goldberg?
They think he's too old, too slow, this and that and the other.
So what? He's still Bill Goldberg. He's faster than they are.
Yep.
I love that. He's not big anymore. He's only 265.
Wasting away.
That puny Bill Goldberg.
Wasting away.
I like Bill Goldberg. He's a scholar and a gentleman. He was always cool to me. I have no heat with Bill Goldberg, and I don't think he's that bad.
No.
He had the same amount of moves as John Cena. The 5 moves, he does them well, and had a lot of success. And I would assume he's going over to then get stomped by Seth Rollins, but I don't know if that's going to get Seth Rollins over at all. Well, I guess they're going to set up to turn Gunther face.
Mm.
I believe. Speaking of Seth Rollins, him and Becky, their house got robbed in Florida there over the last couple of days as well. They were back here in Ireland actually over the weekend because I seen some photos of them. So I guess somebody was watching their house anyway over there.
Right. When did that break?
I don't know what was taken. It just was reported on TMZ that somebody robbed their house overnight.
That was nice of them.
And they're in Florida too. So is that emblematic of an out of control crime situation in Florida, or just the way it is everywhere in any major city now?
Florida is a sunny place for shady characters. I am not one. Owens is one. But there are those that will drive by your nice house knowing that you're on TV in Ireland just to steal your shit.
Mm.
So I would imagine he lives in a gated community. I can't picture Seth Rollins living in the hood.
No, I wouldn't think so.
So they're generally inside jobs.
Mm.
Well, that certainly is unfortunate. Dave Meltzer, though, talking about the ticket sales so far in gate for AW All In 2025. And this is some interesting stuff. He's saying that it was on course to be the largest gate and paid attendance in North American history for a non-WWE show, with around 2.5 million being generated at the gate and 20,000 tickets being sold. And there's some talk that it could reach the $3 million mark, but will still be, even if it doesn't, will still be the largest non-WWE gate since, get this, Frank Gotch versus George Hackenschmidt in 1911. And he adds inflation and a bunch of other interesting stuff that he does. But interesting, he's also expecting a big final week this week for sales. Are they on the upswing? The TV ratings, I don't think belie that, but what do you think?
Inflation.
I think Tony Khan bought 3 tickets for his friends at $750,000 a piece.
How much were the tickets in 1911 compared to now? That's what I'd like to know.
That actually is here. Listen to this. Well, not exactly, but he says after being adjusted for inflation, that 1911 exhibition generated between 2.94 and 3.3 million. Incredible.
Incredible stat. And if my wrestling history serves me correct, Hackenschmidt and him went like 8 hours.
Yes.
And it was a shoot. And people sat there and watched it, and they were in awe the entire time.
Yes.
And it went so long that then they realized we need to make it a work because this is just stupid.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And thus add
3 hours. Oh, no.
Yeah, that's incredible. What a different time frame, though. Speaking of, the whole concept of what's a shoot, what's a work, and listening to your audience, have you seen the reaction seems to be actually translating to TV for Karrion Kross? He was involved in that angle on Monday with Sammy again, beat him with the pipe, but he said, interestingly, on a podcast this week that the issue about him not being pushed because of not wanting to take a flat back bump is complete nonsense. He laughed at it, and he confirmed that the match at Night of Champions against Sammy was kind of a last minute thing, and he's crediting this to the fact that he's getting such support online, et cetera, et cetera. But there's also those that are talking about his contract being up in the next few months, and it's all going to be for naught. What do you make of this Karrion Kross situation? On one hand, it's good that it's starting, all the support online, et cetera, starting to translate to some TV time, but I don't have a good feeling about this.
I would think he's already resigned. He's getting over organically right now, and they're not gonna waste that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
$1 million, he can talk, he can work. If they let him go, the AEW will be all they'll pay him $3 million a year.
Mm-hmm. What about the fact that WWE doesn't seem to like guys that get over, as you say, organically? You can go back to Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, and then even Daniel Bryan. They fought that tooth and nail, and they never gave it to Ryder, but I guess they had to for Bryan. They don't seem to like guys that make their own path and tend to punish them for it.
It's a new era, though, Jack. It's Triple H. He's the man. He's the absolute king of kings. He's the best booker and promoter of all time. So Triple H, he'll be all over that.
I thought Dave Meltzer was the greatest booker of all time, but
no, I think Vince McMahon still is. Controversial.
Meltzer said that he's the king of the 5-star match. He's also got an OnlyFans. So,
oh no, oh no. That would be enough to make a sinner go to church.
I would imagine Kross is going to. Man, I wouldn't even put an Intercontinental or U.S. title on him because I think it would diminish him. I would push him right to the main event. I would head right towards Seth Rollins or whoever's got the other belt right now, Cena. But I think Cena wouldn't be good, but him and Rollins would be good. I think him and Rollins might be coming to a collision course. So
Cena.
I would think you could have Karrion Kross win the Royal Rumble. So,
Cena's here in the UK at the minute. He's doing, there must be some movie out or something. I see he's all over the media and TV here. I just seen an interview with him before we started, and he was interviewed about eating fish and chips. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, asking all the important questions.
All the hard balls.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Cena. Cena was out. I saw a video. He was out at a restaurant a few weeks ago trying to eat and drink with, I guess, a friend of his. And the people next to him with the camera right in his face. He finally was like, "Hey, can I enjoy my drink with my friend?" Like, poor guy.
Yeah, he hates that.
Gotta expect that, though, to a certain extent. Come on.
At least he's polite about it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
remember when the Ultimate Warrior told the 5-year-old to fuck himself in the airport?
Yeah.
And then he
Not
made
one of his highlights.
About it. All right, I digress.
The card that everybody's supposedly talking about, or the premium live event on the weekend, is the Evolution 2. They've dropped the women's Evolution, or was it Revolution? I can't remember the last one that they ran. It was a number of years ago now, but the fans are actually talking about some of the legends that aren't on the show, complaining about the absence of Michelle McCool, Medusa, and Kelly Kelly. Well, someone asked Victoria. I know you know Victoria well. You shared a locker room during her time frame. She was asked on her Instagram live if she was going to be there, and she said, "I'm not going to be at Evolution. I didn't get booked. My back is kind of funky, to be honest with you." But there seems to be some backlash from these fans about the card already not meeting their expectation. What are your thoughts on? I guess we've got Trish. Trish is going to participate there in some way, shape, or form. So that's something.
Trish is working. I don't even. There's no build up. Trish is working Tiffany Stratton. I don't understand. I don't understand why that match is taking place, and I also don't understand. Talk about Tiffany Stratton for a minute, and I like Tiffany Stratton, but I can't see why anybody is getting emotionally involved with her character, because her character doesn't do anything. I thought in WrestleMania, when she came out of the Barbie box, they might start giving her a personality, but no, they gave her nothing. She just has a nice moonsault, and they really don't let her come out of her box. I don't understand. But I would expect this to be the worst pay-per-view of the year. Sound the worst.
Victoria was an awesome wrestler. She was really, really good, and I think that she should have had more title runs, in my opinion.
Victoria,
and it's a shame.
Should do a run-in on John Cena at SummerSlam.
And put her back wonky.
Pistol whip John Cena in the middle of the match for the Cody Rhodes.
Do you think that it's going to be the worst pay-per-view of the year because of the concept is too much? Do you find an entire pay-per-view of women's wrestling, like I do, to be too much?
Yes. It's going to be. It's set up for botch fest. Let's put all the women on. Let's celebrate women. Men aren't going to sit here and watch this. They're not going to tune into this, and women aren't going to want to watch it.
What's the capacity of the arena?
I don't have that handy.
I'll have a look.
Nor are they talking about ticket sales. But since we're talking about women, and there's no correlation here, but for the promotional ad for this show, I included a couple of clips of you taking on the Godfather and putting it to him. Do you want to talk about the start, or before the bell rang there, where the hose were brought out and you were offered? It was kind of like a bait and switch. You were offered your choice of hoe, and then he pulled the rug on you for that.
He pulled the rug on me a lot of times on that. There's numerous times I was offered the hose. I never got the hose. Never once. Never got those. I know that the Godfather got plenty of those. Stories coming out about that. I was never got the hoe. I got the hoe train. I never got the hose. Those were always girls from local strip clubs that because Godfather ran cheetahs, so he would just call the local strip club, send 3 or 4 girls over. They would just show up, and then they would pick them out. Like you, and you, and the rest of you, and throw them out of the building. So he would pick out the ones he liked, and the rest would be gone.
Yeah,
that was one of the most fun things that did, was be in the ring with him while he was talking. He's a riot because he would try and break you.
Yes.
And he usually he got Undertaker to break one time.
I noticed in that match too. Again, we've talked about this before in those matches that you had on television. There, that was you got some shit in, to say the least. It was pretty competitive. Did he call that stuff for you, or how did that come together?
Well, you listen. I put myself in a really good position there, and I was respected by everybody. And I wasn't going to go get straight jobbed out. I wouldn't do it. They knew I wouldn't do it, and that's why I was there so long. You can't be afraid to. Like a lot of these guys go up there, they get their ass kicked every match, and then they're just gone. Never show anybody they can. And Bob Holly said it best. Everyone thinks Bob Holly is a bully, right? Bob Holly will tell you his job was to weed out the weak fucks. So that's why he would beat the hell out of people. And if they took it, got in the back, and came back for more, and it hit him in the mouth, he'd be happy and he'd win. But I wasn't going to lay down like that. And Billy Fives wouldn't either. Mm-hmm. Watch Billy Fives never laid down straight. It doesn't make sense.
You were too big anyway. You were too big to not be taken seriously, you know?
Well, I had a really I like to pride myself that I played the politics really well. They knew I wasn't going to go after the show and do an 8-ball of cocaine and wind up laying in the gutter and embarrassing everybody. So you got to learn the game of politics. And that's why I tell even my staff today, you're always, whether you're wearing my uniform or not, you're still working for me. So watch what you do in public, because if it gets back to me, you're gone. You don't want that to happen. So just behave yourself and get a good reputation, and they reward you by going on TV. And then my big money was made actually not in WWE, but I'd do Monday, Tuesday with WWE and maybe a weekend, and then I'd go to an independent and whack the shit out of them, because now I've been on TV all week.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So that's how it works. I get booked all over because of that.
Mm-hmm.
The capacity is between 18 and 20,000, depending on what event to start.
They better bring a lot of black curtains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pipe and drape, as they say. Interesting you brought up Tiffany Stratton versus Trish, because Bully Ray said basically the same thing. He said, while the match has the title on the line, he can't seem to care about it. He said, why should I care about Tiffany Stratton? What about Tiffany Stratton makes me care? What does she do? What does she say? What type of emotional investment do I have in Tiffany Stratton?
Say this.
This is why I'm telling you, WWE is becoming like a fast food chain that continues. You continue to go there because it's all you know. And just because over 99 billion haven't been served doesn't mean it's nutritional food. It does absolutely nothing. I do not care about the match. Nothing about what those two women have said to one another made me go, wow, I want to see this. Nothing. So why is that happening in this day and age when they've got a fleet of writers?
Well, apparently they need new writers. I don't think they're paying attention to the show. I think they're just paying attention to how many tickets they can sell and how many shirts they can sell. I don't think they care about the product. UFC does not care about the product at all. They could not care. Their whole goal is to make it more profitable and sell it to somebody else.
Seems like it, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Morris, you're
listen, it's an investment because you plan on making money on it. All right? If you're going to keep it, that's a hobby. All right? It's an investment, which means the people that put that money in, they want more money back.
Mm.
So they're gonna strip it all out, show them how much the revenue is, and then sell it to Saudi Arabia. And when they do that, it's done. And AEW might actually have a shot at doing something.
Good point.
Plus Vince then pulls off the win and buys it back, which would be great. But if Bully Ray said that, which is hilarious that he said that, it's great minds think alike. We will discuss that next time he's in Elbow Room. I agree with him 100%. How could you not?
Morris,
and I'm not just her. Like, I'm not thinking about Tiffany Stratton, but what's with Seth Rollins? Couldn't have looked any weaker the other day than he did. I don't know I don't know who's putting this stuff together for them.
Who's dressing? Who's dressing him?
He's dressing himself. That's him. That's all him.
Morris, we're very old school guys and of a different era than yourself. But from your perspective, do you see the continuing appeal to push so much women's wrestling for the sake of pushing it, because it clearly isn't capturing the imagination or interest of the vast majority of the audience?
Well, when I first started watching wrestling, the first women I seen was Sable, Sunny, Jacqueline, bra and panties matches, modeling competitions, whatever the hell was going on. That seemed to work. But then, I don't know, 10 women's matches or 7, however many there's going to be at the show. I don't think there's the demand there for it, in my opinion.
Is Kerry Zane in it?
Yes.
Who's she going to injure this week?
I caught the poster for the event, but never bothered to look up the card because I certainly won't be watching it. But I think it's overkill, and I think this is eventually going to. It's good, I guess, to have a division, but this constant pushing, the work rate of the women when you actually watch what they do in the ring. Some of them aren't even TV ready, but getting pushed into that spot. I think it really buries it, in my opinion.
I wonder how these women are going to get on next year in Saudi Arabia for this 2-night Royal Rumble.
They're all be wearing freaking hijabs by
then. We won't know
how many girls. I assume first off that it's tough to get enough girls to fill a show. All right. There are a lot of girls out there that I know, like Ruthie J, who wrestles for NWA right now. Very talented. I don't know why she's not signed. I really don't know why she's not in WWE. She's really good. I've actually got in the ring with her, going full matches with her, and had more fun in practice with that than I did with the guys at Gangrel School. That girl can go. I'll put her over any day of the week. She should be up there. But a lot of these girls, like you said, they're not ready for TV. They're not even ready for the indies. They just, for some reason, put them in there and hope that one of the other girls gets them through a match. They look like really bad enhancement wrestlers.
They might end up taking.
They don't scream superstar. Like, they're not walking through the airport. People going, "Oh my god!" Like Charlotte Flair. They see Charlotte Flair. Oh my god, is that Charlotte Flair? No, I don't. These girls aren't getting recognized anywhere. Becky Lynch does. Alexa Bliss does. There's probably 4 girls that are worth it.
I can tell you as a promoter what an absolute pain in the keister it is to find. It seems like now in independent wrestling here anyway, you have to have an obligatory women's match. And as I was told, you have to have a girl on the poster. Well, I'm going to pull up this poster from an event last year in Napanee, Ontario, Canada, that I did for my former company. And the girl on the poster changed 4 times. 4 times. And without any real reason. Some of them just said, "I'm not coming." I scrambled to get a match on the show. I had one girl ready to step in for the 2nd or 3rd cancellation, and then they canceled again. So if it was me, I probably, unless it was a very specialized situation, I wouldn't bother. Too much of a headache.
We have very little probably female wrestlers left in Ireland. A lot of them are gone abroad, and any of the good ones are on TV. But we've got like a base of maybe 4 or 5 women here in Ireland that are very reliable and will always show up, you know. So we're lucky that way. We didn't have a women's match at the last show we done. We had a 6-person tag, so we had there's a faction with a girl, and they were against 2 guys and a girl, and mixed kind of tag match. So kept it interesting that way.
Who is this last that's going to be on the big show coming October 19th to the Castle Comer Community Hall, the Halloween Bash plug.
I can't.
That's smart. She's there. She actually got signed at Session with Martina. She actually got signed to Ring of Honor right before COVID, and then they went fucking shit during COVID, and she ended up not fulfilling that contract. She has appeared on AEW Dark a couple of times as well, but hasn't unfortunately been signed yet.
But we'll be there again October 19th, a Sunday, at the Castle Comer Community Hall. How can the fans get those tickets? Because like we've been talking about for the past year, you're selling them out.
Yeah, eventbrite.com, just search for No Limit Wrestling, or if you're here in Ireland, just contact me and I'll sort out the physical tickets we're doing now as well, guys. So cut out all those online fees and you can pay me in cash, and I can give the cash to the promoter and everyone's happy.
Looking forward to it. So yeah, I mean, from the perspective, if you've got some solid talent there that are, good to go and reliable, that's great. But I'm telling you, when I start my new company, I don't think, even though look on the poster, it looks good and all, et cetera, but it wasn't worth the headaches as far as I'm concerned. Got a Booker T story here too, Morris. One of our.
Is it a prison story?
No, he won't let that one go. But this has heat with me too, because we all know what that is. We have to talk to Ahmed and get him back on again. He believes that during his Hall of Fame podcast, he said that it makes perfect sense for the Evolution women's pay-per-view to be 2 nights. And I'll tell you why he says that. It might have to be a 2-night event because we've got that much talent. The roster's stacked. I mean, we've got to have at least 20 matches, Booker T said. I'm loving it, I mean, like you said, we've been asking for this for a long time, and I think the ladies deserve this. Could there be any more of a corporate shill than Booker T?
Booker T's gone woke.
I will never say a bad word about Booker T. He's always very funny about me, but I don't think there should be 2 nights of ladies wrestling a year, let alone in a row. The fans won't be on their seats; they'll be in the snack bar.
Mm.
Yeah, Lord, 2 nights. He said 20 nights.
Is Charmel booked?
Sure.
I don't believe so. I think she's selling real estate and quite successfly.
I think that when I go back, let's go way back in time to the NWA New Jersey, and when we had me, Steve Carino, and Glenn, and we were all working out there, and we had Dawn Marie in her panties every single night in her match versus who was the other girl? Oh,
Francine?
Wasn't Francine? You're close though. You're close. What's her name?
Was she ECW?
Yes.
Shelly Martinez?
No, not Francine. Who's the one that married Tom?
Beulah.
Beulah. Dawn Marie versus Beulah, and they would just take their clothes off and make out with each other, and that was a great woman.
Beulah could work. Did you see that match against Fonzie where they bled like stuck pigs?
Beulah is a delight to be around and
very nice lady. Yes, very nice lady.
Her husband, I will give him props to. He is also a gentleman and a scholar. Well, he's a gentleman. I don't know if he's a scholar.
Yeah, nothing but good things to say about both of them. I've met them on several occasions too. But I mean, I think they should look at. I think there's a reason why they had the original Women's Revolution or whatever it was called. Was that 2017 or something? We're just having another one now. I think Booker should take a look at how this one does before coming up with something like that, because I think they'd lose their shirt.
Maybe he should run an all women's promote or event with his company. Doesn't he have a wrestling company? Maybe Booker T should lead by example and do his own one. See how that goes.
Yes. I think that was pandering, and I find Booker, again, I've never met him, nothing against him personally, but I find that he panders so much that it's just a little much to take. But yeah, we should, for fans that haven't seen that, look up on the channel Ahmed Johnson. There's a couple of them where he speaks about Booker T and called him out to an actual fight. And there was, of course, no response on Booker T's podcast. I bombed it and sent in a super sticker and asked him directly if he was going to respond to this challenge. And he basically said that he decided not to, but who knows? Could see that there's some real heat there for sure. Or was.
Well, Ahmed Johnson has heat with everybody.
Not with us. Not with us.
No,
he's right. I don't know. I've never met Ahmed Johnson.
He's so nice to us, wasn't he, Jack?
He's a great guy.
Only time I was supposed to be on a show for Dennis Carluzzo. I was wrestling Draws in Jersey, and Ahmed Johnson didn't show up, and Dennis Coralluzzo got in the ring, said he's holding me up for more money, gave away his room number and his cell phone number live to the audience.
Didn't Dennis get him a breakdown and get him a limo and everything and all that stuff?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah.
So he refused to come to the show, and then Dennis Coralluzzo got in the ring and told everybody he's not going to be here. But Droz showed up for it. Droz came in for it.
We'll have to reach out to Ahmed and see if he'd like to do a return, because again, what a great the man has a lot of stories, a lot of anecdotes, and great to deal with.
Here's pleasure. Droz.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Never talk about it.
Talk about what? Sorry?
We never talk about Droz enough.
No.
Mm. We gotta have a show about Droz. What a great guy he was. We gotta have Inferno Kid on here for that one. What a great guy Droz was.
Yeah, so let's do that. Unfortunately, he passed, correct. Recently, right? Last year?
Yeah, past couple years.
Yeah. Well, let's put a pin in that and circle back. Paul Heyman, another perennial favorite on WWE programming. He's got a new nickname. Have you guys heard what this is? It's apparently the Oracle, and he's getting. He must have been watching The Matrix. He's getting props for continually reinventing himself. He, of course, was known as started off as Paulie Dangerously. Apparently, he was referred to as a mad scientist a lot in ECW, and then the Advocate, wise man. But even in the article that they talk about this, they missed the fact that his original nickname was the Psycho Yuppie in the AWA and in Memphis. But the guy's been basically doing. If you listen to Russo, he points out that Paul Heyman's basically been doing the same thing for about 15 years on television there, and it's not really reinvention. But what do you think of the Oracle? Is that in reference to his rotund shape?
I would assume they're trying to have the mystical vibes of Seth Rollins there. I said this to someone last week. I think it was Glenn Osborne. I don't think this should be Seth Rollins' group. I think it should be Paulie's Dangerous Alliance, and that's how he should have put it together. I think Paulie should have had some sort of falling out and come back with the Dangerous Alliance, and let him run and just rip and just shoot. There's nobody better on the mic than Paul Heyman.
Yeah, I was just going to say, anytime Paul Heyman goes with someone, he elevates them.
Oh, every single one of them.
Nope, he didn't elevate Curtis Axel. Nor did he really do anything for Cesaro.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed it. I cut you off there, Ryder.
He won the Intercontinental Championship with Paul
Heyman. And then disappeared.
There was a bit of a charisma issue there. He certainly wasn't his father, but not many people were.
Father was a worker, though.
He's a good worker. No one was as good as his father. Bret Hart might have been.
Yeah, 100%. I guess some people aren't tired, notwithstanding Russo's comments, people aren't tired of his shtick. So I guess make hay while the sun shine. But I agree. There was some talk that they were going to come back with the new Dangerous Alliance. And unlike most new incarnations with that in the title in wrestling, I think that would have worked. It would have been a fresh deal, and have them go to town on the mic more instead of the facials and et cetera, et cetera. But I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Here's a Paulie Dangerously tidbit for people. Do you know who he debuted against in ECW? Well, Paulie's first match, who was their opponent? He was I believe he was managing Tommy Rich. Who was the opponent?
You.
Not me.
No, I know this trivia question, but I've of course forgotten it.
It's Glenn Osborne.
That's right. Was it Tommy Rich?
I think it was Tommy Rich. So Paul Lee debuted. Paul Lee was managing against Glenn Osborne when he debuted in ECW.
That was when it was Eastern, correct?
Nope, the Undertaker's got them.
Or a phone call or text came in. One of the two. We'll give him a second there. You're a fan of
that was a phone call. Hence why I generally don't use my phone for the podcast.
Don't worry, it happens.
Morris,
are you tired of his shtick, or do you still think it works?
No, I still find Paul Heyman quite entertaining. Entertaining than 90% of the wrestlers I see on WWE programming. So yeah, no, I have no problem with Paul Heyman. I don't know if this new alliance works though. You know, I think we need Brock Lesnar to come back, I think, and resort that out.
I tell you what they need, and I don't recall ever seeing it in my career. There should be an opposite faction against Paul Heyman that's led by Jim Cornette.
Yes,
because nothing would be better than Jim Cornette and Paul Heyman on the microphones against each other.
Yeah. Speaking of Brock,
greatest of all time.
Speaking of Brock, would that Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia be the right time to bring him back?
I don't think so.
No. Mania.
Is the Royal Rumble this year in Saudi Arabia?
Yes.
2 nights.
What a waste.
Yeah, at least it'll be on early. I'll be able to watch it early.
That is good. I like that myself.
But that's about it.
I think that would be. I agree with Ryder. That would be a waste if he's even coming back. I'm not so sure he wants to.
I'm not so sure he has to.
Or has to at all.
Yeah. You know? If he's coming back, he's only coming back for one reason: to take his belt back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. Why else would he come back for a one-off against Gunther? No.
Probably not. The classic announcer Tony Schiavone of WCW, NWA, JCP, and AEW, of course, made a comment that further cemented his reputation of being kind of a grumpy old guy. On his podcast, he said he has negative feelings about some of his well-known catchphrases from his time in WCW, including butts in the seats and my personal favorite, the greatest night in the history of our great sport. He says he gets why fans use his catchphrases in a celebratory manner, but it was at the stage of his career where he did not like what he was doing. He didn't like wrestling, so it takes him back to the old days and gives him some bad vibes, I guess. He does appreciate the people remembering, but my question is, if his time when he was using those phrases in WCW were negative for him, is he fine with what he has to call in AEW?
I don't understand Tony Schiavone. And again, another nice guy. I think I'm going to give Tony Schiavone, I think he's the Pizarro Kevin Kelly. I think Kevin Kelly, a far better version of Tony Schiavone. I think Tony Schiavone's got some sort of depression problem or something. I don't understand it. He's always seemed very down and never, I don't think he's ever celebrated the business once. I really don't. He's a nice guy, but I kind of worry about his mental health. I don't know why he would act like that.
Did you catch most or any of Tony Schiavone on YouTube or whatnot doing his Jim Crockett or WCW stuff?
Not a lot
stuff back then, but I don't recall.
No, I tell you what I did see yesterday though. Steve Blackman's first ever interview on Chris Van Vliet's YouTube channel. Very interesting guy. Hopefully, maybe at some point down the line we might be able to get him, but be highly unlikely. I don't think he'll do it.
I've been trying for years. Actually, Jake Walker, who's set up a lot of interviews for us, has been trying for years. And the last time he talked to him, he flat out refused. But maybe the ice has been broken, like we saw with Dan Spivey. And yeah, that would definitely be a very interesting bucket list interview. Did you encounter the Lethal Weapon, Mr. Ryder?
I did many times. And funny, we had a very good relationship. In fact, there's a a moment where him and Al Stowe won the tag team titles, and they're celebrating in the locker room. And it's me, Christian, Edge. I think Mick Foley was there, and we're squirting champagne all over. The four of us there, and it aired for about a 2-minute little vignette on Raw. But great guy, great guy.
We got to find that.
Yeah, his arms. I mean, he probably had arms bigger than they're probably bigger than even in the locker room at the time, and people were generally scared of him.
He's a bounty hunter now, isn't he?
Look at the locker room I was in. You had him, Ken Shamrock, and Dan Severn all in the same room.
Yeah.
Bet you there wasn't too much offbeat shenanigans.
And then Kurt Angle shows up.
And up the ante.
Brock Lesnar was there. Was Brock Lesnar there? I guess he was there too. They were there. Yeah. See, look at the freaking talking about studs. People talking
serious
about
guys.
It would last 40 seconds with either one of those guys.
He's a bail bondsman now, Morris, to answer your question. And what I found interesting from the clips of that interview and the photos that I saw is, aside from having white hair, he looks exactly the same.
Yes,
still in great shape.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yes, he had an MMA school in Pennsylvania. He lived too far from me, actually. And at one point, I think Steve Carino was actually running shows with him at one point back in the day at his wrestling academy. Good guy, good sense of humor, very dry sense of humor, but a very, very, very good guy.
Underrated.
We're going to have to continue to reach out to him, and hopefully eventually the stars will align and we'll get that interview. Well, as per the tradition here, the final story.
Ric Flair.
Nope. We moved on to something else. This female superstar by the name of Steph DeLander, I couldn't pick her out of a lineup, but she claps back at a fan trying to shame wrestlers on OnlyFans. And I'll give you what she said. She said that, or they're saying that it seems that some fans have started criticizing wrestlers for using the platform to earn income. One user on X shared an image targeting wrestlers who use OnlyFans, accusing them of exploiting fans for money. No shit. In response, Steph DeLander didn't hold back by calling out the fan. She pointed out that she gained more fame and has made more money after leaving WWE and joining OnlyFans. She said, "I did all of these things after I got released, and now my name is way bigger than it was when I was there, and I've made a bunch more money. The MFers trying to clown are the same ones that will be the first to sub to their OnlyFans or buy their merch."
That girl, marriage material. I'm sure her future is bright. She's going to have a husband and 2.5 children and a golden retriever, and she's going to live a life of happiness and never get divorced.
And be free to return to WWE whenever she wants.
First, I don't fault anyone for making money. And if you do it, if you're okay with it, go right ahead. Heck, one of my best friends is MILF Hunter. And I can tell you, there is no life after porn. Zero. So they can enjoy it now, but I get news, they're going to pay for it later. Selling your soul, that comes at a very high price. I don't care how much money you make.
Did MILF Hunter try to go mainstream after his hugely successful, early 2000s to 2010 career there, where he made some cinematic classics? Or
MILF Hunter became so ridiculous to go out with him, because at this point, when him and I were friends, well, we're still friends, obviously, but there was one point where I was on WWE TV every week, and he's him. So everywhere we went, we actually had a motorcycle race team we owned called Team Hunter. So everywhere we went was just it was chaos. But he did not capitalize. I don't think he thought the train would ever end. But he should have had more merchandise, and he should have taken better advantage of social media back then. He'd be worth. I couldn't imagine what he'd be worth right now. But he was a pop icon. But it's different for guys. It's different for guys. And then women can call me, oh, it's a sexist. I don't care. It's different for guys. A guy can do that and he'll be fine. A girl does that, you're not going to be fine. You're not a star. And Jenna James. Oh, man. We all know Jenna Jameson, right? We were at the AVN Awards in Vegas. And Sean he wasn't up for an award or anything, but we're sitting there. And Sean walked into a restaurant, and I'm telling you, the entire restaurant stopped, came running over to see him, and Jenna Jameson threw a temper tantrum. And I mean, she threw a fit to the point they asked her to leave the restaurant. She was so mad that he was getting all the attention. It was unbelievable.
Get the props.
He was like Steve Austin of pornography.
Mm.
He was that.
Well, he could say independent films. After stopping making the movies or the clips or whatever you want to call it, what did he segue into? Just out of curiosity,
he was a boat captain. Sean was a boat captain for a long time, and he just sat back. He's trying to get he still does a little bit of his career here and there, but he's Canadian. You guys get free money and free healthcare. What's he going to do? He's just down there in the marina and goes to court every day.
I'd imagine with the internet and the OnlyFans and all this kind of stuff going on, that there's not actually good money in that industry now at the moment, because people can make it in their fucking bedrooms on their phones.
Well, that's what they're doing.
You mean
right?
porn studios? You mean? Yeah, I think they've gone by the wayside. Yeah.
So that's difficult.
They don't need to pay as much anymore. When the girls that were doing it back then, they're not special anymore because, like you just said, they can do it. Girls can do it for the bedroom.
So it's interesting. It brings up the point. I mean, we're making a lot of fun out of this topic, but when is the oversaturation point going to be reached with this? Because I've also read that despite this mythology that everybody who joins that platform, which is up for sale, by the way, that they make all this money. You know, not everybody is Mandy Rose or whatever, and there becomes a point where that just isn't profitable anymore. And I saw a list of stars with or wrestling females with OnlyFans, and it's quite long, so it's not exactly a novelty anymore. I think back to that website that Missy Hyatt and Tammy Sitch had, the Wrestling Vixens. That was quite a novel sort of deal. But it seems to me that we're reaching the point where, it's not going to be a worthwhile endeavor anymore.
Well, I don't know what's going to come of it. You know, the world is a twisted place, and they keep pushing the envelope, but I don't know how far they can push it.
Then again,
time will tell. But,
it's
these girls that they're leaving wrestling. You know, you followed your dream. This was your dream, and then maybe it doesn't work out the way you want. Zach Ryders said it best. My name counterpart. He said, just because it gets hard doesn't mean you quit. Right? You were in NXT. They kick you out, or you lose your job, and maybe not even by your own fault. Well, go work harder and come back. Like Karrion Kross did. You know what I mean? Like CM Punk did. Like you can come back. It's a wide open. Fuck, I could probably come back if I wasn't old. But they immediately go straight toward that with animosity toward WWE. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Agreed.
They put you on TV. They gave you a life that no one could imagine. You did it. You made it. And then you immediately leave and you piss all over it and go right on OnlyFans. Who's the one girl? What's her name? Cora Jade, who was body shamed because they told me to get bigger. Well, now you're getting banged on video. What are you talking about? You're worried about them body shaming you? They were trying to help you.
They should go for the Patreon is the way to go. The non-porn subscription site where you can take your modeling photos and do whatever. But I don't think there's a market for that, really.
No, it's like everything else. It's over. I think all of this stuff is over. exposed. And I think also what people are talking about is the fact that, and I know I don't want to stooge something off here, but Mr. Ryder is working on an AI generated OnlyFans featuring. What can we let that out about
I have a few names on the table for my AI generated beauty queen bodybuilding midget. She's beautiful. She's the best God that AI ever created.
Very nice. Very nice.
I'm going to build this and see how it goes. We'll compare how my fake generated 3-foot dwarf does to all the girls on NXT who are now on there. We'll see how my dwarf does. I'll charge like $2.99 a month.
In all seriousness, that's what they're saying. It's going to absolutely replace, an actual human model. So yeah, definitely dark times. But if you're talking to Milf Hunter again, we have to get him on. And what I suggest we do is go through some of his seminal works, episode by episode, starting with Brandy May, because I think that was a high watermark for him. And those of you that are over 18 know what I'm saying.
Yes, we're going to kick off the minors on that.
Be very interesting to interview him just to talk about that, but also
it was supposed to happen, but then he got caught up. Let me see. I can revisit it anyway because he's the MILF Hunter's in my DMs.
I can tell you how. I will tell you how he became the MILF Hunter. He wasn't the original MILF Hunter. He was the cameraman for the very first shoot of the news series MILF Hunter. And the guy couldn't perform. So I guess Icy Mike, who owns the whole thing, was getting mad and said, "We need someone to perform." And Sean went, "I can perform." And he went out and did it and was absolutely hilarious. And they were like, "All right, you're the guy."
That's it. He got the hot tag and made the most of it.
He got the hot tag and he was the cameraman.
That's tremendous.
Just worked out.
Yeah, it was January that we were in touch, so we can link back with him. My phone is on 1% battery, just so you know.
Living in his van down by the elbow room.
Well, we're running out of battery all the way around, so we're gonna say goodbye for this edition of Ryders Rasslin Review. But before we do that, guys, quick last words.
Maurice has a show coming up.
Yeah, October. We'll talk about it next time. It's a long way away yet. And what else was I going to say? Yes, we will get MILF Hunter on and we'll try and track down Steve Blackman.
And we're going to get Doug Basham on here as well. And I'm going to give a plug out to Kevin Kelly.
Doug didn't reply last time to me.
Kevin Kelly started a new promotion in Pennsylvania. Their first show, I believe, is August 3rd in Carlisle, PA. So if anybody's in that area, I know he's got a stacked card. It's going to be good. It's going to be a very good show. So I'm going to give him a shout out. My friend, always good.
Much respect.
Just taking a month off to chill out and float around in my pool.
Nice.
God bless you. Well, the only thing I want to say is, fans, this weekend at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm very excited. We're going to be debuting a recurring program here on the Cheap Heat Productions Empire, and that is Brad Anderson's Old School Family Legacy, where we're going to be talking about the very, very well-known and notable famous wrestling families throughout the history, starting, of course, with none other than the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, the Andersons. So check that out this coming Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the expired phone, Maurice, and the big bad wolf himself, El Gigantic Americano. I'm Jack Kilby. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Thank you for watching this video. Please give it a like if you enjoyed it. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Cheap Heat Productions. Don't forget to hit the notification button and you won't miss any of our upcoming interviews, recurring programs, or entertainment products. Thanks again and keep